Hello my friends, today we're going to show you how we made 2 gallons of hard apple cider. Disclaimer, we are well over 21 and making hard cider is legal in Texas. Firstly, we have to create something called sanitizing fluid. We used 1-step no-rinse cleaner. We needed 1 tablespoon of 1-step for every gallon of water. Once that's stirred together in a pot, we'll let it heat up for a little while. Once it's warm, we took a bit of the sanitizing liquid and we added it to each of the jars that we are going to be using to ferment the cider. Everything we use in this process is going to be washed with a sanitizing mixture to make sure that it doesn't grow bacteria. After adding the sanitizing liquid to both jugs, we shook it around to make sure the whole jar was sanitized. For the smaller stuff, we're just able to drop it into the sanitizing liquid until needed. Since this is a no-rinse cleaner, we're able to just pour out the jars, since they were sanitized and ready to hold the cider. We wanted to experiment a bit with what would be the best recipe, so we're trying 2 methods here. One jar will be filled with 100% pure apple juice. This is not made from concentrate and it has no sugars. The nutrition label only had one item as the ingredient, apple juice. The second jar will be a ½ gallon of pure apple juice and a ½ gallon of apple juice made from concentrate, which would have added sugars and other stuff in there. For reference, we marked the pure apple juice as pink and the half and half as green. To get the desired ABV in the jars, we used a hydrometer which would measure the specific gravity of the liquid in each jar. As you can see, when you put it into a liquid, how high it floats tells you the specific gravity. For example, the pink labeled jar was 1.050 specific gravity. In order to reach the desired ABV at the end, we would need to raise the specific gravity up to 1.080. In order to increase the specific gravity, all you have to do is add a certain amount of sugar, which in this case is about 9 ounces. This is because the sugar is what is converted to alcohol during the fermentation process. Once we raised the specific gravity of each jar, we sealed the top to keep from spilling and gave them a good shake so that all the sugar would dissolve into the apple juice evenly. For the yeast, we both had champagne yeast and ale yeast, of which we mixed 1 gram of it with a bit of hot water. We only wanted the water to be about 100 degrees because if you go too high in the temperature, the yeast will die. Once the temperature was right, you just drop the yeast in the water and give it a minute to get saturated, and then you pour it into the jug of apple juice. The last thing that we needed to add was 1 teaspoon of yeast nutrient to each jug, which just gives the yeast a little bit more food and allows it to ferment for a bit longer. And then all we had to do was pop on the S-shape airlock with a bit of that sanitizing fluid in it, and then we leave it to ferment for 2 to 4 weeks. Here's a video from 2 days later, and as you can see, the fermentation process has begun and it is releasing carbon dioxide gas. I'm really excited to give it a try. I'll go ahead and show the full instructions that we went off of here, and until next time, you take it easy, my friends.